Hi there, this is Sean, the Honest Book Reviewer, with another book review. In this video, we're discussing Unnecessary Drama, written by Nina Kenwood. It's a young adult book, contemporary romance, I think, or general fiction. It's in the long list for the best young adult novel in the Indie Book Awards, which is an Australian award. I'm not really sure why this is in the long list. I mean, it didn't really impact me as being a great book. Maybe I'm not the target audience for the book, I'm not sure, but it just wasn't a great book. Here's the cover. So it just kind of felt like a bit all over the place. It felt like it was trying to bring too many quirky characters into the story and not much substance. It also just felt like too many things happening, too many situations and different themes going on in the story. I felt like the author was pulling different ideas from too many different, other movies or other books and trying to merge them into this book. And it just left it being too many occurrences, events in the book, and not enough substance for those events. Our main character, Brooke, has just moved into a share house, so she's in her first year of university and she's moved out of home for the first time. As a character, I think she's overdone. She's too extreme in her highs and her lows. It's just too much. She's super anxious, she's super stressed, she makes a lot of lists, she likes order. If things don't go according to plan, she freaks out. You get really tired when you read Brooke in this book. She's very tiring because she's so stressful. You stress when you read this story. So anyway, she's in this share house and she finds out that another person's coming to join the share house. So the share house is owned by a girl called Harper, and Harper is in her second year of uni. The new guy turns out to be Jesse, and Jesse went to school with Brooke. And they weren't friends in high school. They were friends for a short time, best friends. And then something happened, a big event happened, traumatic for Brooke, and then she hated Jesse from then on. As the book unfolds, we learn that Jesse doesn't hate Brooke. He's indifferent to Brooke at the start of this story, and that's where I think one of the flaws in this book is. So the tension between these two characters, it's not there. It's not on both sides. It's only in Brooke's mind, and that felt very strange. And it just felt like it didn't need to be there. I mean, it's only in the character's mind. There's no real tension to speak of. No real hatred to speak of. That was interesting in the book. Not so much interesting, but just a bit awkward, I think, because you get the feeling the author's trying to build up this tension from two characters who are meant to hate each other, but they don't. So as Brooke and Jesse have to navigate their feelings for each other, because this book is all about that relationship. So I guess it's got a romance angle in the story, because we see a progression with these two characters as they work out how they feel for each other and can they be in a relationship, and we find out at the end of the book if they can or not. But you can probably guess what the conclusion is going to be. I won't say what it is, but you can probably guess because of the fact that the angst, the hatred that's meant to be there is only in Brooke's mind. But anyway, that aside, this book is overly done with different types of events that feel like they're being pulled by different movies and books and things, and I just feel like the author's trying to squeeze too much into this story because the events feel a bit flat. They feel a bit too much on the surface and not much substance, and that felt odd to me because I expected something a bit different. I expected this book to be engaging because it gets the impression this book is going to be engaging, a bit fun, a bit sweet maybe, but also engaging, and it's really not. It's not engaging at all, really. One thing in this book that I didn't get is about mice. So early on in the book, there's a mouse, and it's in Brooke's room, and she freaks out a bit. But then the mouse is forgotten, it runs off, and nobody thinks about it. Then a mouse reappears later on in the book, and then people just forget about it again. Nobody's trying to find out where the mice are coming from or how they're getting into the house. Nobody's worried about trying to trap them or capture them. So it just felt strange to me. And they're just letting mice run around in this house. And it's odd to me that they've introduced mice into the story, but just let it go until a mouse reappears in the story, and the mice reappear to drive certain dramatic events in the book. Not dramatic as people fighting or whatever, but just over the top dramatic with certain characters. So that's what the mice are there for. But in reality, in real life, if this book's trying to represent a slice of real life, people would wonder where the mice are coming from, and they wouldn't just let them run around the house all the time. So Brooke, our main character, she's just too exhausting. As a reader, you feel exhausted when Brooke is in the scenes, and she's in a lot of scenes. I mean, the book is in her point of view. She's just overly neurotic, overly anxious, overly stressed. She's just overdone in every way. And her highs and lows are just too extreme. They go off the scale in every direction. So as a character, I just want more subtlety. I don't mind if the character is a bit quirky, a bit neurotic. I don't mind if the character has reactions to things, sometimes big reactions to things, but we need subtlety in the character as well. For the character to feel real, I just want something in there that makes the character feel real, and Brooke didn't feel real to me. Jesse needs something to give him substance. He just felt monotone, really. He felt just one level, and it was quite a really dull level through the book. The author tries to give him a bit of substance by giving him history, his family history, and he speaks about that a couple of times in the story. And that is a little bit engaging. I mean, you empathise a little bit with him, but it's not enough. It's not enough to bring life to the character. We need some life in Jesse, and he felt very flat throughout this book. And that was a shame, because the author's trying to make him the love interest, the love angle, trying to give him the trope of this good-looking guy that the main character is interested in, and who's a bit of a saint really in his behaviour. So he's that kind of trope in the story. But it fell flat because he feels flat in the story. Harper, who owns the house that Jesse and Brooke are living in, they're renting. I'm not sure what to think of Harper. I mean, she felt the most real in the book. She felt the most adult as well. And of all the characters, she feels like the one who is not too quirky, not too insane, for want of a better word. But there's something lacking in her as well. I mean, she's not memorable. In this book, the characters aren't memorable, and when you finish a book, you want at least one character to be memorable. You want to remember one of them and think, oh wow, that character was great. And I can't think that about Harper, and I can't think about other characters in that way in this book, which is a shame. This book just didn't engage me, didn't grab me. I felt a bit flat. I felt just too much crammed into the book. I felt like it was too little substance in the book as well. And the characters just had things missing with them to make them feel real. I rate this a 2 out of 5. I don't know if I feel this way about the book because I'm not the intended audience, but I think even if you're not the intended audience, there's something in there that you should enjoy in a story. Something that should grab you anyway. And I find most books do. With most books, there's something there I can grab hold of and say, okay, that was good. But in this book, I'm struggling to find that. I can't think of the characters as being memorable. I can't think of the events as being memorable. And, it might be a small thing in the story to most people, but when I think about those mice running around and nobody even caring about them, that just bugs me in the story because it just makes the whole situation seem less real. On my channel, I do review quite a few young adult books. If that interests you, check out my channel and subscribe. There's also a young adult playlist on my channel. Should be on the screen now.